Okay, now that you have finished your project in Inventor, we now need to go into a program called EdgeCam and create toolpaths for our CNC mill. You're going to open up EdgeCam, and once you've opened up EdgeCam, you're going to go to File, Open, or just hit the little open icon, and you are going to find where you saved your Inventor file. And I'm going to click on it. This is your part file, and you are going to open it up. Now, I've been stressing to you how to draw this in the what quadrant and extrude it the right way. And if you did not listen to me, right here, your CPL is going to be screwed up. I told you it would be. I told you it would be a problem down the road. You did not want to listen to me. You thought you knew more than me. If your CPL is not right here, then I will have to show you later on how to change that. But if your CPL is right here in the bottom left hand corner, blue axis pointed up, red right, green kind of on the Y axis there, then you are correct there. So we have our part in here. Now what we need to do is basically simulate a stock. And so we're going to come over here. It is a little, looks like a cube. We're going to click on it, and we're going to click automatic stock. We're going to have zeros on all this, and what that's just doing is telling the computer program and our mill, okay, this is the size stock that we're going to be putting in the vise, and we're going to mill our object out of that. So we have the stock. We now need to find the features. So we're going to go to the feature finder, which is this little binocular icon. We're going to check everything. Auto. We're going to come to mill. We're going to check everything. And the max diameter is going to be 0.375 because we do not have a end mill that is bigger than 3/8 of an inch right now. And this is finding holes, so we cannot drill a hole or mill a hole larger than 3/75 in a drilling operation. So put that in. Everything else is checked. Go ahead and hit OK. Go ahead and hit OK. It says select individual faces. Don't select anything and just hit the check mark. And what that's going to do is find all these different features on our object over here. And we're in the feature tab. We're looking down at the top view, and you have all these different features. And you can notice as I drag my mouse over them, they will highlight over here. So this is EdgeCam, but it's a editing part or the design mode of EdgeCam. We now need to go to the manufacturing mode of EdgeCam, and so there's these two little icons in the top right hand corner. One is the pencil, which is the design mode, which we're in now. The other is it looks like an end mill bit, and that is the manufacturing mode. So we now need to click over here. There's three drop downs that are very important. We're in the mill. What type of mill we are is IntelliTech. If you look at the mill, it is big white letters, tells you that. And then initial CPL, since I did not have to change mine is going to stay at the top. If you had to change yours, you had to rename it at one point, and you're going to select whatever you renamed it. I'm going to hit OK. This stayed the same, but what changed is all our buttons and menus up here. Over here, this just changed to a different tab. We're going to be clicking between the sequence tab and the features tab. So now what we need to do is create a toolpath, and the way to do that is you go to operation, and you have different options here. We're going to focus on these three: roughing, profile, or we're going to focus on two: roughing and profiling. Face milling is just taking off a little bit of material over the whole top surface, squaring it up with the bit. We're not going to worry about that. The two we're going to worry about is roughing, taking out a lot of material in one space, and profiling, which is following a set line. So the first thing I'm going to do is rough. I'm going to rough out this pocket. If I read this, it says select geometry to machine. You could come over here with your mouse and try to select it. I find that hard. What I do is drag my mouse down my features here, and when I get to the one I want to rough out that pocket, I select it. It turns green. I then hit the check mark. It says select boundary. I just hit the check mark, and now this this operation menu pops up. Milling type, you have 3 different types. You have climbing, which starts out cutting material and then kind of goes to 0. Conventional is the opposite. It starts kind of at 0 material and then it goes to cutting. Talk about that a little more in class. Optimizes, it kind of uses both. We're just going to use climbing for now. Step over, we're going to put at 25%. Tolerance 0.001. We're going to come now to tooling. You have calculated feed rate, plunge rate, and the RPMs or spindle speed. So you guys are going to put in your numbers for that. Here are my numbers for the material that I am cutting. And now I need to come down to the tool store, and I need to select the tool that I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using a 3/8 inch end mill, and it has 2 teeth or 2 flutes on it. So I'm going to go ahead and hit select. If you are using the 4-fluted 3/8 inch end mill that we have, you're going to want to make sure that it says number 4 here. Okay, go ahead and hit select, and then I'm going to come over here. I'm going to keep the clearance at 0.25. That is how high does your bit, is it above your workpiece, and then cut increments is going to be 1/8 of an inch here at 0.125. And actually I'm going to come back to tooling. One other thing, tool position, this is dealing with your CNC motion, which is another program that you have not learned about, and in that program you need to match up this tool that you are giving to EdgeCam, what position it will be found in basically the CNC motion. So you want these to match. If this number doesn't match in CNC motion, you have to go through your G&M code and change it to the matching one, which can be a pain in the butt. So we can talk about that a little later. So I know that the 3/8 inch end mill 2 is position 2 in CNC motion. I'm going to hit OK. Okay, now you can see over here, if you right click, you can move your drawing. You have your tool, and now you have a tool path. And so I want to simulate that to see what it kind of looks like. So I'm going to come over here to the simulate button. It gives me my stock, and if I hit play here, it's going to head and going to cut out my pocket. Now that was extremely fast. Right over here is your speed. You can control that. If you drag it all the way left, it's slow, so I'm going to rewind it. I'm going to hit play again, and it's going to go a little slower, and then I can control the speed. And so this is what your machine is going to do. Slowly step down and cut out that pocket. Speed it up here, and finished. And so far that looks good. So I'm going to exit out of the simulation mode, and I'm going to put on some more operations here. So I'm going to rough, actually no, I'm not going to rough, I'm going to profile around this fish here. So I'm going to go to operations, I'm going to go to profile, and right now I lost my feature tab, so I just click back on my feature tab, and I'm going to come down here until I find my fish. Here we go, and I'm going to hit check. I then hit check again. A box very similar to what we saw earlier pops up, just a couple different options. I'm going to climb, and tolerance, going to keep it the same, offset the same. Tooling, I need to go back to the tool store. I'm going to click 3/8 inch. That is position 2. My feeds and speeds are correct. Yours might be different. You need to change them depending on your calculations, and then depth 0.25, keep that the same, and cut increment 1.25, keep that the same. So you can see another toolpath was created. I'm going to simulate it. I'm going to drag this to a little slower for now, hit play. Okay, drag it faster, get that pocket done, and now see, okay, it's cutting around my fish. Now the reason I didn't rough, if I used a roughing operation, what it would do is it would take off all this material too, which is just wasted time. So I didn't need to take out all that material, because eventually we're going to be cutting with the bandsaw just right here at the bottom, and all that excess material will fall off. So the profiling just cut out what we needed, left the rest here, and it saved us some time and some wear on the bit. So far so good. Hit X, and now the last thing I need to do is mill out that lip. And I'm going to rough that out because I have all this material that needs to be cut out. So I'm going to go to Operations, I'm going to go to Roughing. I need to select what I'm roughing. I'm going to hit check, this pops up. Climbing 25, yes. Tolerance 0.001, yes. Tooling, okay, those are all correct. What I need to do is find my tool in the tool store, select it, and position, for me that is position 2, and I'm going to double check my depths. 0.25 clearance, yes. 0.125 cut increment, yes. Check. Oh man, let's double check it in the simulator. Speed is okay. Hit play here. Let's speed it up to get to the part that I want. Okay, cut. Now, that looks good. You'll notice you see these little red marks over here. Those are called faults, and since that is in the scrap material, you are fine. If that was in your box or in your container design, then there is something wrong with that. Basically what that is your bit was doing an operation over here on this. Mine is a fish design, and as it accidentally hit this other material. Okay, and so far for us, that is fine. We don't need to worry about that. So I am done. I have all the operations for the top half of my box. I'm going to exit out of simulation mode. The last thing that I need to do is come to this little NC, and it looks like a disk. It's called Generate Code. I hit check, CNC name. You're going to browse, and you can notice I have a bunch already. You're going to change the name. I'm just going to put a 2 after this. Make sure you know where you're saving this. This is the GM code. You are generating GM code. And hit OK here. Hit cancel. Voila. Up pops your GM code. Okay. And so this is all the GM code to do just what we saw that bit doing. And this is what we're going to give to our CNC machine. Now you can see in line 3 here, back when I was doing the operations and I put in tool position, right here is T02. So this is telling my CNC machine that whatever I've identified as T02, that's what tool it thinks it's using. You need to make sure in the next step in CNC motion that your T02 is the right tool, because we are using a 3/8 inch end mill. Okay, so we need to make sure. You might have to change that. So you can exit out of this because you saved it. Exit out of that, and the next thing that we will be doing is going into CNC motion, and I'll talk to you about that later.